Hi everyone, welcome back to Community Building with Aishah and Tanu. In today's episode, we're talking about what personal development she has started in the past year. Now, why this is important is because, especially for my program, What's Next Mama, it's important for me to work with women, mothers, who have already started this journey because it shows me that they're willing to put the work in and the investment into themselves. So, enjoy Tanu talking us through this. Perfect, Tanu. So the next question for you is, what personal development work, if any, have you done on yourself in the past year?
And I'm going to answer this in a multi-pronged way. I think personal development for me roots from two things. One is the relationship that I share with my family, and two, the relationship that I share with myself. Not necessarily in that order, of course, but I think these are the two most important aspects that I've always tried to focus on. And that's precisely why I shared my challenge of being stuck somewhere also. I think through the 6 months at least, and that first 6 months, I think I'm going to remember them so vividly. As blessed as they weren't easy, of course. I think, first of all, if I have to look at and talk from a standpoint of my relationship with myself, I think I'm a kind of person that if I identify myself struggling through something, I automatically kind of try to seek out different resources. Like I would either like to travel to a place or read something or possibly make myself occupied doing something that I love, which is writing. I think I express best when I do that because it's a good way of introspection also. Of course, besides being a great way of expression also. I think in the last 3 years, what has given me an immense amount of strength is, through Instagram, through social media, and most importantly, through books. I have started to follow a couple of women that I relate myself to the most and the learnings that they have. So if we talk about Dr. Maya Angelou and Oprah Winfrey, she's written a book called Super Soul Sundays, which talk highly about, forgiveness and a lot of other, fundas of life, if I have to just put it like that. It's not just global gyan, it's a very spiritual talk of, it helps you identify the space from where all of this conflict is arising from, and it tries to give you a perspective of how you can deal with it. So I think my ability to read in the last 3 years, I was always a great reader, but it saw a break when I got married, and I'm now slowly getting back to it. And it's risen in the last 3 years because when I'm not able to answer an emotion, or if I'm not able to really understand what's happening with me, I just like to kind of listen to these powerful women that we've once had walking on this planet. And I think for me, Oprah has been a living legend. So I follow her a lot, and I follow a lot of other men also.
Right.
At work also, I know some great fathers, and I just kind of talk. I've done a lot of sharing, a lot of responsible sharing, because I'm not sharing from a perspective of complaining. I'm sharing from a space when I'm looking for a solution so that I could make an improvement on my side. But I think reading has been my best friend. So even I'm at work, I'm practically working 12 hours a day, but whatever little breaks I get or towards the night, I try to read that one little piece of quote or that experience from somebody that may make a shift to my personality, which will automatically translate into the way I'm a family person or a mother. And I think second, Aisha, I would like to share, relationship with somebody else. I think I have confided a lot in my mother-in-law because she was somebody who was my constant and instant support. Until today, she is. And I think she gave me that space. And it took a lot of courage from me also to be able to share what I'm going through, to be able to share my disagreements with her. And for her to open up about her motherhood experience, which necessarily was not all rosy.
Right.
So I think when I entered this house, I had a relationship with my mother-in-law. We were having fun. We had a lot of commonalities. We had good interests, but that necessarily does not, for me today, define a strong bond. Right. Till the time you don't really open up about your disagreements,
right,
and solve for it together. So I think my mother-in-law has been that guiding force for me. Not because she's always heard me or agreed with me, but because she has shared with me her disagreements and allowed me to share mine. And it's only when I keep her in mind is when I want to become a better family person. Because for my son today, I may be a protective mother, but tomorrow I'm raising a man. And I want him to pick up the best example of how is it that you articulate the conduct that is expected to be in the house. So I think I have a lot of scope of improvement from my way of conduct, because see, I'm at work, I'm a professional, and aggression is a part of my personality, but I cannot have that distributed in my house. So that is something that, you know, I would honestly like to kind of seek whatever support I could from.
That is amazing. And Tanu, it's probably the main factor that we connected in our first chat. It's because it's very important for me to have the type of women, the type of mothers in my program, like you and like myself, who we've already started this journey of personal development, right? Because we know it's important for us, and more importantly, it's important for our children and the family around that we have. And so understanding like that there is work that needs to be done, that's why it's important to have those kinds of mothers in my program, because that way we continue to work together and we're continuing the evolution together. And so the community we're building here, it is just going to help kind of increase that drive that we already have. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Thanks, Aisha. And you know, you bring out a very good point of the community. And you know, on that note, I want to share something else. I think one thing that me and my husband have discovered after our baby is that our relationship is not exactly the same how it was in the past. Right. You know, because now the way I'm already a very expressive person, and for me to express and get it out of my system is of prime importance. So my husband, I think, you know, besides my mother-in-law, has been so understanding with the passion that I have. So, you know, when I told him about you, he told me, don't give it a second thought. And he showed me that faith that, you know, I can do it all and I can have it all. And of course, he has a very important role to play with the quality of relationship today I have with my family. So I think, but it doesn't come easy, Aisha. It comes with a lot of courage from your end also, with a lot of clarity of thought and speech from your end. So I think through this program, when we join as a community, I want to urge every woman to also spend some time and understand and see, was there a way of improving that little link with your husband or your mother-in-law or your father-in-law, whoever was that in your family? Because a lot of us kind of start to get victimized. It's all right to be stuck, but you can't come with the feeling of being victimized and looking for miracles. I think one has to be very ready to work a lot on yourself and self-identify what were those critical people or those critical points that you yourself could have controlled it. I think that's when the community becomes very authentic, honest, and it becomes very, very highly workable. So thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to talk about it, Aisha. This means a lot. I've never opened up like this in the past.
You're so welcome.